Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on, what's today's date? The 22nd of June, 2019. Nope, 2020. To talk about everything that went down tonight on a Monday Night Raw. You know, I thought Raw had its good parts, its bad parts. It was a very up and down show for me, to be completely honest. Like, there was some stuff that was really, really good. And then there was some stuff that was whatever. You know what I mean. And so, looking at it, if I had to say, was it a good or a bad night for Raw? I liked it more than most episodes, I guess. So, yeah, I'll say it was an okay night for Raw. Better than I expected for sure. But, I mean, the one thing I'm going to criticize, and I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. I was just getting the kids situated in their bedroom and stuff to watch a movie or play a game or whatever they're doing. So that's why I'm getting here late. But, you know, if I'm thinking, the one main criticism that I do have for tonight's Raw was the fact that I felt the title matches were a little short. I thought the title matches could have actually been longer. Like, it's a 3-hour show. Why do the title matches have to be as short as they were? If you guys know what I mean, you know. But with that, let's see who is here with us in the live chat. We do have Jacko Rowell, Derek Bocek, Carmen Ingram, Wayne Montgomery. We've also got George J. Cox, Sinclair Saturday, Delaney K, Hasib Hassan, Ahmed Yusuf, and so many more of you. I want to thank everybody who did join us here, or is joining us here, is currently now joining me to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. And Monday Night Raw kicked off with a WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre came down, not looking to fight at the moment, dressed up in nice clothes, and said he was looking forward to the future. And after successfully retaining his championship in 2 different matches last week. Dolph Ziggler would then come out and interrupt the champ. Ziggler interrupted, and the announcers noted that there's history between these two, Ziggler and McIntyre. McIntyre said he's actually happy to see Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler said that, well, AJ Styles, he went to SmackDown. And so Raw, they get something in return for the trade, and Raw doesn't get just Dolph Ziggler, but his tag team partner, Robert Roode, as well. So I guess maybe that's foreshadowing of, how do I want to put this? Dolph's going to challenge at the pay-per-view, and Roode may interrupt. Actually, I think I need to check my DMs really fast. I might have some info on Bobby Roode, or Robert Roode, whatever you want to call him, and why we haven't seen him recently. I got a message about it. Let me see if it was actually what I'm thinking. Never mind. I didn't get the info I thought I was getting on Robert Roode. Well, actually, let me check one other message. Let me see if I got it. No, I don't have the info that I thought I was getting about Robert Roode. Okay, so back to Raw. Dolph would go on to say that everything that McIntyre has gotten so far is thanks to Dolph. Ziggler said McIntyre was let go years ago and would have been finished if it wasn't for him. Ziggler credited himself for McIntyre's entire redemption story, including McIntyre winning the WWE Championship. Okay. Ziggler knew that McIntyre needed an opponent for Extreme Rules, and he wanted to be that opponent, saying, well, you owe me. McIntyre thanked him for the revisionist history lesson. He noted Ziggler's lack of success since they broke up and laughed at Ziggler being included in a 2-on-1 deal. Basically saying that both of you combined are as good as one AJ Styles. McIntyre said Ziggler was extremely talented, though, but also an entitled jackass. McIntyre warned him how far he would go to defend his belt. Ziggler didn't appear worried, though, so McIntyre accepted the challenge for Extreme Rules. Fast forward later on in the night, we learn that match is official. So Nia Jax will then randomly come down to the ring, and they let us know on commentary, well, Nia Jax isn't scheduled to be here right now. Nia would ask for a chair and sat down as he went to commercial. So we come back, and she's complaining about Charlotte getting a title shot tonight, saying that all she has to do is woo, and there you go. She gets what she wants. Jax said that she was cheated out of her opportunity because of a crooked ref. And, excuse me, you could certainly argue that for sure. R-Truth would then interrupt, do his whole entrance and everything, and said that she must be confused because he had a match scheduled right now against an evil ninja called Akira Tozawa. Truth then wondered if maybe Nia Jax was really Tozawa, but in a disguise. Jax was not amused. Tozawa suddenly appeared behind the announcers before a bunch of ninjas chased Truth away in the crowd. Charlotte would then come down to the ring. Charlotte said Jax blew her chances and mocked her for it. Jax said Charlotte only receives opportunities because who her dad was. And Charlotte goes, oh, you want to talk about family, but then didn't bring up Nia's family. Charlotte said, oh, I'm Ric Flair's daughter? No. Have you not heard my dad's new nickname? Charlotte Flair's father. That's what he likes to be known as now. Still wish that Charlotte would have brought up Nia's family, because she briefly said, you want to talk about families now, do ya? And then didn't say anything else. So I said it wasn't her dad who beat Asuka's it wasn't her dad who beat Asuka's undefeated streak. It wasn't her dad who beat Asuka twice in the last month. Jax reminded her that, we fought once before. And not only did I beat you a couple years back, I dominated you. Charlotte then attacked her and they brawled until referees separated them. Charlotte did manage to escape at one point and hit Jax with a boot before, it was finally all settled. Tom Phillips noted that Charlotte may have hurt her arm and shoulder in that little brawl there. Look at the Street Profits. They're hyped up for their match later on tonight. Actually, next against the Viking Raiders with tag titles on the line. Angelo Dawkins sang a theme for the Viking Profits. They said Viking Profits. And then they all said Viking Profits together. Like, cool. Kind of over it. Dawkins and Eric each issued warnings about what they would do to each other when that bell rang, though. They all left joyfully together. After they left, Zelina appeared and had a pretty cocky smile on her face. So next up, in about an 8.5 minute match, Street Profits defending their titles against the Viking Raiders. There was a great spot early on when Montez Ford tried a flip dive, but Eric caught him cleanly and powerbombed him into Dawkins. This led to a break. Dawkins tagged in after the break and ran wild. Profits gave Eric a Viking experience, but Ivar broke up the pin. They then took turns dodging moves by using cartwheels. At one point, all four men simultaneously did a cartwheel. Eric powerbombed both Profits at once, but Dawkins came back later with a spinebuster on Ivar and a spear on Eric. Ford followed this up with a frog splash on Ivar and pinned him to retain the titles. So after the match, it was all good sportsmanship as they all shook hands and hugged. Profits celebrated as the Viking Raiders left, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the champs were attacked by Andrade and Angel Garza. Viking Raiders ran back in, and the heels bailed. Excuse me, I got the burps. So I thought this was an okay match. A little short. I would have expected a little longer with these two teams, just based off of how much we've been anticipating this match. And like I said, I felt like all the title matches were kind of short tonight. So after the break, Rollins spoke to the camera. Well, actually, before the break, Murphy and Austin Theory approached Rollins backstage. He told them that he had a message for Rey Mysterio, and all will be revealed. They kind of appeared confused, not knowing what Seth was about to say. Then Seth spoke after the break. He said the roles weren't destined. The roles were destined for a... Hold on, I wrote this way wrong. He said the roles were destined and beyond his control. He didn't choose to be the Messiah, and Mysterio didn't choose to be a sacrifice. He accepted his role, but Mysterio was defiant. And a defiant breed must suffer. The saddest part was Mysterio allowing his son to be involved. Whatever becomes of them, it will be Mysterio's fault. Legends never die, but they can outlive their welcome. And every time I hear someone say, legends never die, all I start thinking of is the freaking Sandlot. Like, I can't ever hear anybody anywhere in any medium say the term legends never die and not think of Babe Ruth and the Sandlot in The Dream with Benny. I just can't. I just can't. So after this, Charlotte Flair was seen leaving the trainer's room. Charlotte Grusko asked her if she had any second thoughts about facing Asuka tonight, maybe even postponing the match because of her shoulder. Charlotte said, well, this ain't ballet and we know it. My shoulder's going to be okay. I've never, what did she say? I've never quit before or given up before or whatever. And she's not going to tonight in this championship match. She said, my arm will be good enough and feel fine while I'm holding up the belt. Charlotte Grusso then all of a sudden magically just, I'm with Zelina Garza and Andrade. She's a witch. Teleported quickly. She asked them about their attack on the tag team champions. Garza said, when you want something, you have to take a risk. It's like a beautiful woman. You stare into her eyes and you go for it. Vega then said, okay, watch out. She told Charlie, or Chuck as she likes to call her, they're a cohesive unit. They've been a cohesive unit. Cohesive units sometimes have issues, but they're good. And said that they will be going for the tag titles. Next up, we got the Raw Women's Championship match. After about 11 minutes or so, Asuka entered first. Charlotte came out second, which is weird because typically the champion comes out second, but moot point, whatever. Asuka missed a drop kick to the outside early on, and Charlotte took over. After a break, Asuka came back with a German suplex and kicks to the arm. Asuka then hit a kick to the head, but Charlotte came right back with the big boot. Asuka tossed Charlotte's shoulder first into the turnbuckle and applied an armbar, but she got to the ropes. Charlotte hit a spear, but Asuka got to the ropes herself this time. Actually, I read that wrong. Charlotte hit a spear and went for the pin, but had kind of like a not full cover. She didn't have all her weight on Asuka, so Asuka was able to shimmy and instantly grab the ropes. Asuka then countered a figure four into a roll-up for a near fall. Charlotte countered a triangle choke into a power bomb, but Asuka held on and applied the Asuka lock. With the Asuka lock applied, Charlotte Flair actually ended up having to tap, and Asuka retained the Raw Women's Championship. Good match. Surprised how short it went. I thought this would have been at least 15-20 minutes. No, it went about 11. And the big payoff was Charlotte has beaten you how many times? And finally, when it actually matters, Asuka is the better woman. We then learned that Mark Henry will be the next guest on Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions. We then got an awesome, really good Edge promo. Edge said that Orton won at Backlash, but he really didn't prove that he's a better wrestler than Edge. Edge may have tore his tricep, but he kept fighting through it. Orton claimed that he let Edge keep fighting. Edge said that's bullshit. Edge was about to apply the anti-venom, he said, his head and arm choke, but Orton hit him with a low blow. Orton is now calling himself the greatest of all time, and Edge wanted him to go ahead and put that on merchandise. Anything he wanted for the time being. Put it on a shirt, on a mug, on underwear. Edge said it meant everything to Orton to beat Edge, whereas Edge just expected to beat Orton, not needed to beat Orton. Edge was kicking himself for not trying the low blow first, saying, Orton, I see what you did, and I should have done it before you did. Edge noted that he couldn't pick up his daughters on Father's Day thanks to the surgery that he had to have. Edge was angry about Orton painting Christian into a corner and punting him last week. Christian has been his best friend for over 30 years, and they've been through everything in life together. Edge said Orton woke up a side of him that will sink to any level to get what he wants. He will step on anyone's back to get to the top. Edge didn't want to win a wrestling match. He wanted to embarrass Orton. Edge wanted Orton to wish that the cowboy Bob Orton, his father, was firing blanks the night that he was conceived. Because when Orton sees Edge next, when Edge is ready to wrestle, there's not going to be any question who's the better man. He wanted Orton's kids to question if he was okay. He wanted Orton's wife to be afraid to look him in the eyes. He threatened to infect every aspect of Randy's life. Edge would finish in saying, and I quote, "You have no idea what you've done. You woke up the evil. You woke up the rated R superstar. Get some sleep while you can, Randy." Immediately cuts to Randy Orton backstage, being interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Orton said, if you back a snake into a corner, it's going to strike blindly and wildly. Orton said Edge and Christian tried to come back and at his expense. So, well, he struck blindly and wildly. Give me 1 second. I'm technically almost blind without my glasses, but when they're all smudged up, I can't really read. There we go. I can see now. He said he did what he did to defend himself and his family. He wished Edge and Christian a full recovery, and he wanted them to have happy lives, as long as it was far away from him. Orton then asked Charlie to excuse him. He's got to go meet Ric Flair in the ring, which actually didn't happen until later. I thought the Edge promo was terrific, great, full of emotion, and Randy was just as good. Well, Edge was maybe a skosh better, but his promo lent him to be better compared to Randy's promo and what it was. Charlie Caruso, who was just busier than hell tonight, found Charlotte, and she was kind of annoyed with everything that went down. Charlotte said that she gave Asuka credit for the win, and then Nia Jax would attack her again. This time, Nia would slam her arm into some crate or some box or whatever. She literally put the arm in the box and slammed the lid down on it, further injuring the arm of Charlotte Flair. Basically, they wrote Charlotte off TV like she gonna be gone for a while, and I don't know why. We then got Akira Tozawa against R-Truth. This match was all ready to happen when none other than Bobby Lashley and MVP would come down and interrupt. Lashley and MVP would destroy the ninjas at ringside, and Akira Tozawa hid. They would then jump into the ring and attack R-Truth. Truth would get laid out, and Lashley would just leave. I wanted Lashley to pin him and become the 24/7 champion, and then have all these geeks try to come at Lashley, and Lashley just kill them all every time they try to attack him from behind and stuff. But no, Lashley takes down Truth, and then just leaves him laying. So Tozawa scampers into the ring, literally scampers on all fours, jumps on him, 1, 2, 3, Tozawa, new 24/7 champion. Cool. So we got Shara Shriver backstage. I guess Charlie got a little too busy or winded from all that running around. And she's like, I'm outside the trainer's room, and I'm waiting to get word from the trainer on Charlotte Flair's condition. And Natty would then interrupt. And she's like, Sarah, it's a shame. Becky Lynch is now gone. Charlotte Flair is injured and going to be gone. But the locker room needs a leader. I'm that leader. She goes, we all know that Asuka's not the type to rally the troops and give the speeches. I got some news, though, Sarah, if you want to hear it. And Sarah goes, well, what's your news? And Natty goes, oh, sorry. Because you didn't come find me earlier, we're out of time. I have a match. You guys will just have to wait and see what this news is. I'm like, okay, I could care less. So we get Natty versus Liv Morgan, and Natty comes down with Asuka. Lana. So I guess the news was that Lana is now the manager of Natalya. Lana is the freaking manager of Natalya. And this match went literally 1 minute and 59 seconds. Morgan was distracted by Lana as she was re-entering the ring after being tossed out. Natty then swept her legs out from under her, applied the sharpshooter, and within seconds, she had her tapping. Natty jumps out of the ring and celebrated with Lana. As the two were walking off, Lana then told her, I love you. I love you. In the back, Charlie Caruso caught up with, the Big Show. They talked about Big Show helping the Viking Prophets fight off some ninjas last week. Show said that he thought he's seen everything, but never thought he'd be punching a ninja. Show was really just there last week to see some old friends, but was happy to help. However, Show wasn't here for fun tonight. He was here about what happened to his friends Edge and Christian over the last week. Some people forget that behind his fun exterior, there's a very angry, heartless giant. And if there was something he wanted, there was nothing anybody can do about it. We then learned that it's official at Extreme Rules. McIntyre will be taking on Dolph Ziggler with a title on the line. So Ric Flair comes out, further telling us that Charlotte Flair is injured and that when she comes back, Nia Jax is going to have to watch out. Nia Jax is going to have to be careful. He said, my daughter, when she wants something, when she goes after someone, she gets it. And when she comes back, Nia Jax better be ready. And I'm like, so Charlotte's really taking time off? He would then say, Jax, wish that she worked in a different environment, as she is going to be in a lot of trouble. And it's like, what's going on with Charlotte? Why'd they have to write her off of TV? It doesn't look like they're writing Andrade off, so it's not like, these two want to get married and go on a honeymoon right now. No, it looks like Andrade's going to work Extreme Rules. But Charlotte had to get written off today. I'm not going to speculate anything because I don't know what's going on, but we'll see. We'll see. Flair then said it's time to bring out Randy Orton, the greatest performer in WWE's history. Orton said nostalgia could be confused with legacy. He called it nostalgic that Flair hit a low blow last week. Nostalgic that he punted Christian. Nostalgic that Edge returned to the ring. Orton's renewed desire to be a legend killer wasn't nostalgic. He was cementing his legacy. He said, the voices in my head, they're not always on the same page. And he felt like, and they are now, and he feels like the legend killer again. Big Show would then come out and interrupt. Big Show called Orton a narcissistic parasite. He said he's felt this for a very long time about Randy. Orton had been taking advantage of people like Ric Flair. Someone who Show used to respect. Orton latches onto people to help motivate him when he can't motivate himself. He said he's nothing more than a parasite who attaches himself to others. And once he got what he wanted, he left them to die. Show warned Orton that Edge was going to get his revenge one day. However, Edge wouldn't get it done alone, because Show was going to break every bone in Randy's body. Orton knew that Show wouldn't lay down or lay a hand on Flair. And he also knew that they were friends. Show took Orton under his wing, he stated, 20 years ago. Orton called Show a future Hall of Famer. And a legend. And he said it like that. Also, a legend. Orton didn't think he would be this upset about two of his friends getting kicked in the head. He threatened to put Show down the same way. Show wanted to fight, and Randy left the ring. Orton then said that he was focused, he was motivated, and then said, and I quote, "What happens next is on you. Let's go, Rick." So it looks like at Extreme Rules, probably going to get Randy Orton versus Big Show. Next up, we got the WWE Tag Team Championship match. Match went 6.5 minutes, almost 7. So Bayley forced Banks to start the match with Billie Kay, and Billie immediately caught her with a boot. Bayley saved Banks from a near fall and from a double team, and she took out Peyton Royce. The Iconics managed to double team Bayley, which led to the break about a minute into the match. Royce gave Bayley a fisherman suplex, but Banks broke up the cover. Banks tagged in and attempted 3 amigos, but Royce escaped the last one. She pushed her into Bayley, who fell off the apron. Banks fought off Kay before putting Royce in the crossface for the submission victory. Again, another short title match that went 6-7 minutes. So the not-so-subtle story was Banks basically winning it by herself, because Bayley didn't really do much here. Bayley bragged about the win, and Banks said, You're Bayley Dose Straps. But maybe I've been a little jealous about that. She said, Bayley, you're my best friend, and I want to experience this for myself. I want a title match at Extreme Rules. I'm officially challenging Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. And they both laughed, and my first thought was, okay. I get that you can go on every show because you're the tag champs. But that doesn't mean, does that now mean that because they're the tag champs, they can challenge anybody on any brand for any belt? Or is this going to be with the open invitation? Either way, Asuka would come down. And she said, you are not the boss of me. I accept. Bayley then attacked Asuka, and Banks joined in. Banks gave her a backstabber and put her in the crossface. Banks and Bayley, they're good here. Really good. And I'm checking WWE's website and their Twitter just to double check and see if they've made this match official. Because we know Asuka accepted the challenge. But I don't know if the match is 100% official. You know what I mean? Let's see. WWE. What does WWE stand for? Walk with Ellie. And nothing on Twitter. Let's go to WWE.com really fast. Just double check this. See if this match has been made official. Like I said, we do know that yes, it has been made official. Okay, so it's official. Drew will be defending against Dolph with the WWE title on the line. And Asuka will officially be defending against Sasha with the Raw Women's Championship on the line. So that is official. So going forward, Sarah Schreiber asked Lashley if he was trying to make a statement by attacking Truth. Lashley said that he would be WWE Champion if it wasn't for Truth. Lashley said that he was introducing the locker room to the Hurt Business. And I was like, how is you not being the champion Truth's fault? Truth had nothing to do with the match at Backlash. Last week, it wasn't that Truth interfered or anything. It's that you got your ass beat by McIntyre and then you let Truth pin you. So it wasn't Truth's fault or anything. It was your fault for fucking up. MVP said his association with Lashley and possibly Apollo Crews, too, will bring championships to him. MVP noticed that Crews' trick to beat Shelton Benjamin last week was to use the ropes, and he was proud of that, until he learned that Crews was giving Benjamin another shot tonight. MVP encouraged Crews to make the right choice or else. He said, now, the best club in the biz is opening up, and as the proprietor, I got to be there. Saying that we're getting the MVP VIP lounge. So Ruby Riott tried approaching Liv Morgan backstage, and Liv basically thought that she was just going to call her a loser again, so she blew her off. And Ruby kind of had this look on her face like, I just wanted to cheer you up. So we go from Ruby coming back, Ruby attacking Liv, Ruby being a heel, now she's a babyface. Like, I don't know. So we have the VIP lounge. MVP introduces his guest, Apollo Crews. They went back and forth for a little while. MVP said Crews couldn't stay champion for long without him. He said that he's one of the most prolific United States champions of all time. Crews wondered if MVP would maybe help Shelton Benjamin win tonight and screw him. Or send Lashley out after him. Or maybe even try to get this belt himself. Crews knew guys like MVP and wasn't interested in having the help. MVP reminded Crews that he held that title for 343 days, and if he wasn't careful, the title would come back to him. Crews got in his face until Benjamin would enter into the ringside area. MVP spoke from outside the ring, just long enough for Benjamin to attack Crews from behind. MVP told Crews never to leave himself open in a 2-on-1 situation because it leaves his blind side vulnerable. He said that a bit of advice was he said that this bit of advice was free. The next one would cost him. So we had a U.S. title match. Actually, I think it was a non-title match, to be completely honest, because they never said that the title was on the line. And I didn't get a time for this. It just went really quick. The match began during a break. So again, kind of hard to time it out because we don't know exactly when the ding 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 of the bell starts. Phillips said that Benjamin drove Crews into the post and it was slowing him down. They didn't show a replay of it though for some reason. Benjamin hit an enziguri, which we did see, and they showed a replay of that. Crews tried a standing moonsault, but Benjamin caught him with an armbar, which was actually a cool spot. Excuse me. They spilled to the outside, and Benjamin tried a stinger splash, but Crews ducked, and he collided with the ring post instead. Crews followed this up with an enziguri and a spinning sit-out powerbomb for a pinfall, picking up the victory. Bingo, U.S. champ Apollo Crews defeats Shelton Benjamin, second week in a row. I thought all this was actually pretty good. The match, though, a little short. Like everything, a little short. So Dominic approached Ray in the back and asked if he was sure about what they were about to do tonight. And Ray said he was ready. So Dominic and Ray come out. They come out and there's about just a smidge under 10 minutes left in the show. Ray said it was terrifying not to be able to get a hold of Dominic last week. He told Dominic that he scared the hell out of him and didn't feel any better when he found out where he was. However, Dominic managed to get himself out of a 3-on-1 situation, and Ray was proud of that. Ray was also angry, though. Dominic's mom was worried. Dominic knows the risks when you enter the ring because they've all talked about it to him. Ray was pissed about what Rollins did to him. Ray said Dominic may be bigger than him, but Ray said Dominic may be bigger than me, but I'm still his old man. Dominic would always be the child, no matter how big and strong he got. Dominic fought. Ray said Dominic fought off the odds, so now Ray would fight for Dominic. Ray wanted revenge on Rollins, but he had to do it himself. Dominic understood this, but he wasn't going anywhere, and he said, I quote, Seth Rollins, this is what a family looks like, and this family wants a fight. Dominic said that. Great delivery. Dominic's really good. Way better than you would think with his little experience, because he's really only trained. He's never had an actual match, never worked an actual show other than the stuff we've seen in WWE. He's just trained at a lot of different places. So we'll see how it all goes, but Rollins would come out. He contemplated what he should be doing right now. He realized that it wasn't up to him because this was fate. They were in the same place at the same time, and their two eyes were better than one. Rollins began to make his way down to the ring. He stopped at the bottom of the ramps with Theory and Murphy. could join him. Aleister Black and Roberto Carrillo would come down and attack the heels. Dominic fended off Murphy, and then Carrillo took out Murphy and Theory with a dive. Ray gave Rollins a 619. The good guys grabbed Rollins and dragged him towards the steel steps. They tried to take his eye, but Rollins' buddies made the save. Rollins' pals then held back Ray while Rollins attempted to take out Dominic. He almost did, but Black and Carrillo chased them off. The heels bailed as the show went off the air. I thought this was a really effective segment. I really actually enjoyed it. Everything went well. No one looked like they messed anything up. And Dominic, again, like I stated, delivered. 2 weeks in a row, Dominic has looked good. He hasn't done much, but we've seen people do less and look worse, do more and look worse, do what Dominic did and look worse. So I think Dominic's really coming into his own. We just need to actually see Dominic do stuff. If they're going to use Dominic as a WWE superstar, cool. I want to see him more like the Rock's daughter, actually be signed and train with the company and then get used when they feel like he's ready. Not, oh, you're Rey Mysterio's son. We're going to throw you in there with your dad and see what happens. But with that, I thought tonight's Monday Night Raw was actually a pretty good show. I do have some text messages to read here before we do wrap things up. If I did have to rate the show, I'd probably go 6.5 just because all the really short matches. But I do have some text messages here. This person says, who's a better commentator, Joe or Jericho? Also thoughts on Taker retiring. Joe is better, I think. And it's very opinion-based. I think Joe's better. But if someone said Jericho, I can't really argue it. Also, my thoughts on Undertaker retiring. He even said it. Never say never. He said if Vince really needed me, that glass might break. So yes, he said he's done. But he also basically said, I'm done for now. Because I could possibly return once again. Person said, I think Sasha and Bayley have been absolutely amazing since WrestleMania. Do you think they're the hottest women's act in wrestling today? In all of wrestling, that's tough. I don't know, because Impact's doing some cool stuff with Deonna Purrazzo and Jordynne Grace. And I think once they have their match at Slammiversary, it's going to be really good. So I think they're about even. Maybe Sasha Bayley a little bit better. Tim says Sasha is challenging Asuka for the Raw Women's title. If she wins, does that mean she goes to Raw? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I don't expect her to win. I expect Bayley to accidentally screw her. Where it says, after watching one of the greatest races I've ever seen, I thought Raw was okay, not bad, good promos. Hey, I thought today's Talladega race was amazing as well. And if Eric Almirola didn't spin out, crossing the finish line, fucking Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would have won that match because he had the momentum to pass Ryan Blaney. But then, as he's going, he's got all the momentum. Here comes freaking I know it's saying a NASCAR podcast, but here comes Almirola spinning right in front of Stenhouse. Whether Stenhouse had to slightly lift or just lost his momentum because of Almirola, either way, he was that far in second off of Blaney. So if there was nothing impeding Ricky Stenhouse at the end of that race in those last 20 feet, if that, he would have won that race. Ricky Stenhouse should have won that race today, even though the best or second best car of the day, well, I don't know, because I felt Blaney and Stenhouse were very equal, and Joey Logano was just as good. No, Joey was just as good, but not at the end because he had to save fuel. So he couldn't go as hard. But in my opinion, Stenhouse really should have won that race if it wasn't for Almirola spinning in front of him right there at the last possible second. Ricky would have won that race because he had the momentum. And then Almirola still finishes third in reverse. Great race today. Like start to finish. Great race. Anyways, back to some wrestling questions. This person says Edge's promo was really good. Or Edge's promo work was really good here. best I've seen him since he has come back. I don't know if it was the best. I think we've seen other stuff comparable. This person says, is Dominic really Rey Mysterio's... I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. Or even finish that question. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight to talk about Monday Night Raw. I thought tonight's Raw was a pretty good show, better than we've seen in a while. Thank you guys for joining me here either live or later on YouTube. And also, I do got to state, we are moving all live streams over to Twitch, twitch.tv/, I believe it's PW Unlimited. I'm going to have to double check on that. But we are moving all of our live streams over there because, well, the live streams aren't making us any money on Twitter, or on YouTube. Technically, for the length that it takes to do the podcast, 40 minutes here, we're losing money for how much we're making off of it. So we're hoping that maybe if we move all podcasts and live streams over to Twitch, we can make more there. Because Twitch, you guys can donate, you guys can subscribe, you guys can cheer and bit, and all that goes to us. Unlike on YouTube, where if you guys donate, super chats or whatever, YouTube takes at least 30%, if not more. And also, you guys can subscribe to us on YouTube for free if you have Amazon Prime. Because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Twitch Prime. And if you have Twitch Prime, then you get one free subscription to any Twitch streamer you want to support. And so if we're streaming on Twitch over there at PW Unlimited's, the PW Unlimited Twitch, well, bada bing, bada boom, you can sub to us over there. Doesn't cost you anything with your Amazon Prime subscription, and it helps us out. So again, we will be implementing that next week, starting with next week's Monday Night Raw review. I will be hammering that into you guys throughout the week, letting you guys know, hey, Twitch. I'm also going to try some other things to promote it as well. So with that, guys, thank you for joining me here tonight to talk about Monday Night Raw. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Follow us on Instagram by searching Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. And don't forget to keep checking our website, pwunlimited.co. You can also follow me on Twitter at TimmyBuddy and follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. I should be streaming over there in a little bit. I got a couple wrestling news videos I got to put out before I can stream over there. But Last of Us 2, baby. I'm ready. So with that, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you next time.